Hi guys, what is up? It's your girl Karen, aka cakedbybabyk, and welcome back to my channel. I'm kinda scared today because we are going to be doing a makeup look that will hopefully last through me doing the Hot Ones challenge. And this is actually a twofer because I've been wanting to try out new routines slash products slash techniques for potential wedding day makeup. So I thought, what better test to put a full face of makeup through than the Hot Ones challenge? Obviously this one is going to be a two-parter, but before we get into all that, let's get ready together. First and foremost, I always start with my brows because I love using a clear brow gel first, and I don't like how it gets all gunky if I do it after my foundation. Let me know in the comments if you're brows first or brows after foundation type of girly. I'm currently using the Maybelline Super Lock Brow Gel. I did do a TikTok video on this, which I will link below, but it is essentially a dupe for the Rare Beauty Brow Gel that I absolutely love. I'm not super worried about the brows because I feel like that's just the least touched and interacted with part of the face. So I'm just gonna do my usual brow routine. Absolutely love the lamination look, and I've been doing this for the last few years, and I will probably be doing it on my wedding day. I already cleansed, toned, and put serum on my face, but I have yet to put a moisturizer. I'm gonna use the Road Barrier Restore Cream. This is lightweight, but it's also pretty hydrating given the texture of it. Whenever I've done my makeup for weddings, whether I was a guest or a bridesmaid, I've always emphasized the skin prep because that is such a key component to making your base last all day. I'm gonna layer the Makeup Revolution bronzing drops right over the moisturizer. Just an extra step of hydration and glow and a little bit of color that is added to the face. Now you guys are probably more so watching this for the Hot Ones aspect, but I am more so doing this so I can test out wedding makeup. Since I'm a beauty creator, everyone always asks me if I'm gonna be doing my own makeup or if I'm gonna be hiring a makeup artist, and I've honestly flipped-flopped so many times because I just am not sure. I'm using the very last drops of my NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I'm in the shade Vanuatu if anybody is curious. Also, everything will be linked in the description down below. Absolutely love, love, love this foundation. The fact that I've finished a bottle says a lot. It's long lasting and it's lightweight and just honestly so slept on in my opinion. Like, people talk about this foundation, but I need people to like talk about this foundation. Buffing this in with a brush. Back to my point about flip-flopping between getting a makeup artist and doing my own makeup for the wedding. I originally wanted to do my own makeup just to save money, and also I'm very particular when it comes to my makeup because I have been doing this for so long. However, I am a little whiny crybaby. I just already know. I can already picture myself. I'm gonna be crying so much, especially when I'm reading my vows. Doing a little bit more foundation because, believe it or not, when you put more makeup on, it actually lasts more throughout the day. Back to me being a crybaby. I cry so easily, so I just know that the whole entirety of our wedding day is just gonna be me sopping up my tears. And I'm just really worried that I'm going to cry all my makeup off. So that is one of the only reasons why I want to hire a makeup artist to do it for me. Also because I'm sure a few bridesmaids are going to want to have their makeup done as well. Before we do concealer, y'all know I like to use my setting spray in layers. This is new, so that's why it was so hard to open. This is the Benefit Professional Super Setter Setting Spray. One of my favorite setting sprays. Truly helps melt and lock everything in without being super mattifying or super dewy. But one of my friends and amazing makeup artist, Shelby, I'll link her in the description down below, she recommends to layer the On Till Dawn fixing spray from one size in between makeup layers. And I am a little bit curious, but also mostly apprehensive about doing this because this is supposed to like lock in your makeup. So I think maybe I'll start out with the Professional. This is a new bottle. I'll have to make sure all the spritzy thick drops are out before I get the good stuff. Okay, for concealer, I'm gonna use the two that I have been using. I wore this to a recent wedding in which I was a bridesmaid and my makeup held up really, really well. I just used the Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage Concealer. I'm in the shade Golden Beige. And then for the second layer I'm gonna use the Lancome Ton Idol Ultra Wear Concealer. I'm in the shade 320. And sometimes I feel like the more concealer, the better, because there's more layers and it's gonna be harder to cry off. Again, we're gonna hit it with some setting spray. The reason why I love this one specifically so much is because I can spray as much as I want and it doesn't get cakey and it doesn't skip or pick up any of the makeup I've already applied. I feel like with some setting sprays, if you spray too much, it can really disrupt your makeup, but that does not happen with the Benefit one. I'm using this one size sponge that just came out with the foundation launch. Also, I have tried the foundation quite a few times and I did film a wear test, but I want to lock down a specific routine that I want to post my formal review with. As you guys may know, life has been lifing, so I just have not gotten around to it, but I do have something in the drafts. I'm probably gonna compile maybe something for YouTube and just have everything be all together. But I've been using this sponge for a little bit over a week now, and I think I've come to the conclusion that I am not the biggest fan of it, even though this seems to be the biggest sponge. Bringing some of the concealer onto my upper lip because I sweat there like none other. I'm really worried about my T-zone in addition to the tears that will probably stream down my face. For reference, I have oily combo skin, so the T-zone is the area of my face that gets the most disrupted. Okay, we're definitely looking kind of crazy. I think now is the time to start layering the one size setting spray because now that the base is done, well, at least the foundation and concealer, I feel a little bit more confident spraying this because this will lock your makeup in. Only gonna do a light layer. I have never layered with this specific spray before. All right, moving on to contour, bronzer, blush, all that fun stuff. I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty Happy Soul bronzer stick. Happy Soul is the shade, by the way. I'm only gonna use a little bit of this because it's not gonna be the primary bronzer. It's just a little something something for the powder bronzer to stick on. I feel like this shade in particular, it's more of a cooler contour shade on me than it is a bronzer shade. So that's why I'm only using it sparingly and I'm only concentrating it on like the lower parts, like the hollows of my cheekbones. Okay, so far it seems to be layering okay on top of the setting spray. Now it's time for one of my favorite parts, the blush. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin blush in the shade Rosé and Brunch. She's beat up. Okay, I've used her many a time. She's been with me in almost every wedding that I've gone to, which is kind of crazy. This has Upsolite technology, and if you're not familiar with Upsolite, it is an ingredient that's supposed to help control your oils throughout the day. I never look overly greasy when I wear this formula, and it's not even a matte finish. I would say it leans more towards a natural finish, which is a big reason why I love it so much. You know, that and the Upsolite. I usually would add more blush up here, but I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of wanting to concentrate it more to my actual cheeks. I feel like it's just a little bit more classic, a little bit more timeless. I forgot to contour my nose. Although I will say, I normally don't contour my nose. I usually just do like a quick little swish swish with my bronzer brush, mostly because I'm lazy. But I feel like we gotta add a little bit of dimension to the nose for the wedding day. There's another plane flying overhead. God, I don't know how long it's been since I've last contoured my nose. I don't even know if I feel confident in doing it, but it does not look bad on camera. She kind of ate, I fear. God, I need to stop watching TikTok. Nars, I'm gonna need you to fix your cap, because what is that? Actually, it might be because it's so beat up and old. I actually think the amount of concealer that I put on is helping it prevent creasing, because usually at this stage where I haven't powdered yet, it would be more creases underneath my eyes, but she's looking pretty smooth, dare I say. All right, now it's time for powder bronzer. I'm using the Flower Beauty Heatwave Luminous Bronzer. This is one of my favorite powder bronzers from the drugstore. And since we laid down that cream bronzer slash contour, because it's more cool toned on me, it's gonna stick really nicely. I think a big makeup component that I'm worried about is having like a bronzer helmet or having my contour slash bronzer be a little bit muddy. We're looking okay for the most part. I know what you're thinking. I look a little crazy. I look a little wild. Next up is powder. I'm gonna use a little bit more powder than I normally would, you know, staying power and whatnot. And I'm using the One Size translucent powder with the One Size puff. Gotta keep it in the family. I'm gonna try and be really strategic when it comes to baking and powdering the face, like especially along this nose contour area. Definitely gonna add a little bit more powder and bake in the T-zone area because, you know, once again, I'm an oily bee. Also, guys, I'm curious, if you have gotten married before and you either did your own makeup for your wedding or had a professional do your makeup, let me know if you regret or if you loved or if you would do anything differently. Because on one hand, I know that I'm more than capable of pulling this off. Like, I know I'll feel beautiful either way, but I think the main points for me are that I'm worried I'm gonna cry it all off and I don't want to stress about this during the wedding. I feel like if I get a makeup artist, I'm more so paying for the ease and the peace of mind more than anything. Plus, I also know that makeup artists hate working on other people who have makeup knowledge. I'm not gonna call myself a makeup artist because I'm not certified and I don't do makeup on other people, but I have more makeup knowledge than the vast majority of the general population. I'm gonna do this little guy here because he's a bee and he always creases. Okay, while that bakes, I'm gonna do the rest of my eyebrows. I'm gonna fill them in using the Kosas Brow Pop Nano. I'm in the shade medium brown. You guys know I absolutely love this brow pencil. I've been almost exclusively using it for the past, I don't know, like year or so, maybe a little bit less than a year. Actually, I don't think y'all need to see this part, so I'm gonna do my brows off camera. Just giving very old school YouTube. All right, we are back. The brows are on, and another thing that I thought of when I was doing my brows off camera is that I'm worried that I have facial blindness. Like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? That trend on TikTok where people are talking about their eyebrow blindness from like years ago, and they just like weren't aware of how horrible they were. Since this is my own face, I'm worried that I just have facial blindness in the way that I just look at my face all the time because it's my face and I'm staring at the mirror, and they always say that your face looks different to other people than how it looks to you. Yeah, kind of worried about that because now I'm thinking about what if I'm looking at my eyebrows and I'm thinking, yeah, they're so even, but to other people, they're not even. Because even right now, I can tell they're not even. And if there is ever an occasion where I would want them to be even, is my wedding. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. That's another big reason why I want to hire a makeup artist, because they'll see my face for what it is, what other people are looking at. Now let's get into the reasons that are holding me back from hiring a makeup artist. I think I'll be very, very picky when it comes to how my makeup is done, simply because I've been doing my own makeup on the internet for so long and I'm just used to doing things a certain way. I'm gonna dust this bake off while we're at it. I know, I'm just gonna be super picky and makeup artists are just gonna not want to work with me. All right, but now we're moving on to eyes. I'm using my favorite neutrals palette of all time, the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions one. I don't know if you guys can tell from this angle, but look at how beat up that shade is. If I were to do my own makeup, I don't know for sure what the eye makeup would be yet. There's another plane flying overhead. Obviously, I want the makeup to be timeless. I think I might want to do a small wing. No wing? I don't know. This might be a problem for a later day. Also, I love how the title of this video is Get Ready With Me for Hot Ones, and I talked about it a little bit at the beginning, and so far I've only been talking about wedding stuff. Apologies, but actually not really apologies because it's my life and I want to talk about it. I think now let's shift to talking about hot ones. I'm scared. I literally bought the whole season box set of all 10 sauces to do this challenge, specifically because I wanted to film it. I'm going to be filming it with Nate, my fiance, and I have no idea what we're gonna talk about. I love watching hot ones on YouTube all the time, and if you guys aren't familiar, basically they do interviews, or this guy does interviews with a lot of big celebrities, and while they're doing the interview, they're eating wings, hot wings with hot sauces, and it gets spicier and spicier with each wing, so it leaves the celebrity feeling more vulnerable and therefore able to divulge a little bit more because they're just thinking about how spicy it is and not the actual question. So I don't know if we'll do like a whole interview portion, but I do think we're gonna talk about a lot of things wedding and relationship related. Possibly, I don't know, maybe we'll just be in pain the whole time and it'll just be wheezing and moaning. There'll definitely be a lot of crying, that's for damn sure. Probably a lot of snot and a lot of nose blowing. This is what the eye makeup is looking like. I'm not in love with it, but I'm chilling. It's not like this is my actual wedding. Oh my god, I forgot to powder the center of my nose. See, right now I'm kind of over the eye makeup because I just want to be done and eat some wings. I feel like the eye makeup is just one of the main parts that I'm also worried about, in addition to the T-zone and the crying, because obviously that's where the tears are coming out of. Maybe I just should hire a makeup artist. Was gonna keep this an all matte look, but kind of feeling some shimmer. A little twinkly moment. Nothing too heavy. You can barely even tell on camera, see? Y'all know what time it is. Let's do another layer of the one size. Spray it up my nose. All right, we're getting rid of the concealer lip because I cannot anymore. My lips feel dry. The difference that made. I honestly have not given much thought as to what lip combo I should wear. Dare I do more blush? I think I want to because we're looking a little bit matte, a little bit flat, and this one is a shimmery blush. So let's just see how we can layer this on top of what we already have. Add a little bit more life, a little bit more glow. There we go. See, there's a little something something. And I feel like throughout the day, and also this Hot Ones challenge, my natural oils will be peeking through. So I don't think I need too much. I'm gonna do the excess on my nose. Oh, okay, I think that looks cute. All right, now we're gonna do lash clusters. This is gonna be one of the last steps. I found these Be Blinky lash clusters at Target and they were like $8, $9 and it comes with 72 pieces. They look incredibly high quality. You guys know that I have been a Falscara stan for I don't even know how long, 2-ish years at this point. But I feel like since Falscara blew up, they started mass producing and the quality just isn't the same anymore. I have switched over to like the Ardell Seamless lashes, which is kind of their version of Falscara. And those are nice too, but when I saw these, like these look so high quality. The band is super thin and I was just so drawn in by the amount that you get, and also this case, like that's such a nice case. Wait, that's cracked. And the reason why I've been wanting to do lash clusters and why I've kind of switched over to lash clusters from a traditional strip lash is because when you cry, you kind of cry off the whole lash, or like the inner corner just comes like popping out. With the clusters, they're glued to your actual lashes, so it's not on top of your lashes with the band. I just think the clusters look a lot more natural. I am noticing that the fibers from the Be Blinky lash clusters, they're a little bit easier to pull out and kind of shift than the Falscara and the Ardell one, so that's the only thing that I'm noticing right now, but other than that, it looks really good. All right, I just realized that I should have done this setting spray first before I did the one size spray to melt everything down because I still think we're looking a little bit powdery. I'm almost out of this. Let's see how much there is. I swear, this is one of those products that you just keep on using and it just never runs out. All right, it's looking a little incomplete because we don't have a lip on. Now the lips, I'm not worried about being as long lasting because I can just easily take it off and reapply. I'm not expecting these to be long lasting for the Hot Ones challenge either, but if anyone's interested, this is the Milani Understatement lip liner in the shade Cafe au Lait. One of my favorite drugstore lip liners. Don't know if I'm gonna do a lipstick, lip gloss, both yet, but in my hands right now I have the Merit lipstick. This one is in the shade Antibes? 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 I think it's Antibes. And this lipstick is a very comfortable formula. I actually had this in my Disney bag for the longest time. They're matte, but they're not drying. Okay, but that lip combo, she looks kind of good. I kind of love her. All right, but this is the finished look. I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can see what it actually looks like up close. We're gonna try and set up this Hot Ones challenge. So I will see you in part 2.